So first, let's start off with this play. What's going to happen here is, so you see it's a zone coverage concept, and you have a receiver just trying to get into a gap in coverage very quickly on this play, right? Simple enough. Well, when this play begins, Penix is going to take the snap. He looks in that direction, and again, it's getting open very quickly, as the play is kind of designed to do. So Penix gets rid of the football quickly. I mean, I think good job by Penix to, again, be able to just make this work quickly. For a lot of young players, one of the difficulties that they have is getting up to NFL game speed quickly. But again, in the small sample size we saw here in the preseason game, I didn't see that to be much of an issue for Penix. And I always thought he was a very quick at playing at the college level. So I'm not surprised to see him continue to do this at the NFL level, even if it is just preseason. Like, you also have something like this, where what's going to happen here is it's going to be you have a one-on-one matchup on the outside, and if you watch Penix in college at all, you know he loved to throw it up to receivers if he had one-on-one matchups, and part of that was, well, look at the receivers he had, but part of that, too, is it's just a good strategy, especially if you have the deep ball that he has. So, okay, well, let's see what's going to happen on this one. Penix is going to take the snap. He does look in that direction, and again, I think a lot of times when people see these plays, they might say, like, oh, that was a bad decision, like, if it's not open when it's over. But, like, you have to keep in mind, you really have to make these decisions very quickly. I mean, you look at Penix now, he's already into throwing motion. So you got to quickly decide, you know what, I am going to take this chance. And I think it's the right decision by him. There is definitely an opportunity for this to get open. And to be honest, I think that this was a fine throw. Like, okay, it didn't result in a completion, but I don't really put that on Penix right here. It feels like in my opinion, the receiver number 82, that's Casey Washington, I thought that he maybe jumped a little early, maybe would have had a chance. I don't know. I feel like Drake London probably makes that catch, to be honest. So I don't have an issue with that throw at all. It didn't result in a completion, but a quarterback can do the right things and still get an incompletion. You know, it's a team sport, despite what some people on ESPN might try and tell you sometimes. But then going over to something like this, another deep shot right here, it's essentially a one-on-one matchup. This is technically zone, but it's going to essentially be the same thing, one-on-one matchup towards the bottom of the screen. You see that, again, Penix takes the snap, is going to have to make his decision quickly, but once again, this is a decision he should make. It appears to be open, like, yeah, absolutely take this shot. You know, it could get open, and watch how well this one works. I mean, this was a really good route. I mean, you see how open he gets, but also just beautiful throw from Penix, right? Perfectly timed, exactly where you want it to be, perfectly accurate. Like, no notes, 10 out of 10. Well done by Penix, and this is the kind of stuff that, you know, is why he got drafted so high in the draft, right? Is because he could do this in college. And this is another thing that, like, I really felt was really underrated coming into the NFL. Part of the irony of him going to a team that, you know, in theory has a quarterback with Kirk Cousins was that I thought Penix was pretty pro ready. That was one of the things I really liked about him, is I thought he would come in right away and play well. And this is an example of that, where it's zone coverage. And I believe this is the route he wants to throw to from the jump. I don't think this is going to be something he eventually decides. I could be wrong because I'm not in his head. I don't know the play call, all that stuff. But watch what he does. Watch how when he takes a snap, he's looking towards his right, and he's, you know, pump faking even in that direction. I don't think he actually wants to throw it here because, you know, he could throw a check down here if he wanted. I think that this is just trying to get the Dolphins defenders more in this direction. So then when he does move back, he moves and fires quickly, and he gets a first down on a 2nd and 15. I mean, this is really good stuff from Penix. You don't see young quarterbacks doing this. You don't often see a lot of veteran quarterbacks doing this stuff. This is great stuff by Penix, and I think that this is kind of awesome to see. Sure, it's just preseason, but, like, if you can do this in the preseason, you can do this in the regular season. You just can. At this point, when I saw this play, I'm like, wow, Penix, he's having a great day. He hasn't been perfect, but, like, a lot of good stuff. I did think he cooled off a little bit. Like, for example, something like this, I'm talking about the timing, and I think the timing was good. I do. But, you know, he's going to have some rookie mistakes. He is going to have some, you know, things that he has to learn. It's why you have him play preseason, not just because, you know, he's the backup, but also because, you know, when he does get into an NFL game, whenever that ends up being, you don't want him to make the mistakes then. You want him to make the mistakes now. But anyway, the way this concept is going to work, it's zone coverage, and it's going to be the route closer towards the sideline that you would really want to throw to. I phrased that poorly. The one that's cutting up towards the sideline, not the one that's, not the go route, but the one that's going to be more shallow. You see Penix takes a snap, and I'm going to be honest, he's just late on this. He's just late. You need to get that one out earlier. This is the classic rookie mistake. In college, that's the timing you want. NFL, you just got to pick up the pace a little bit. It happens to every young player in preseason. Nothing to worry about, but just it is something that I noticed. And then there was also something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is, so it's going to again be a zone coverage concept, which again, it's preseason. You're not getting that many exotic looks. That's just not how these things tend to go. You get a lot more of, basic concepts like a, quarters coverage. You see the route on the screen. Definitely one that can work against this concept, and they're going to run a play action as well, which can get linebackers to move in. On paper, this is a good situation for Penix. However, when Penix runs this play action, he's going to look towards his right, fires towards his right, and it wasn't a horrible throw. I think it was too far towards the sideline. He did not need to throw it that close to the sideline. Maybe he just didn't realize that it was going to get more open until he was getting rid of it. But regardless, I think if he makes a better throw, that's a completion, ends up being incomplete. Again, this is one of those, does Drake London make that catch? Probably. Probably he does. But still, the reality is, if that was a perfect throw, then not Drake London makes that catch as well. So still, these are little things. And to be honest, I thought the accuracy was not ideal in this game. I mean, you had a few missed throws like this one where you're going to see him really just overthrow. Maybe that was a miscommunication. That can always be said with somebody's stuff, but still, it was off. That one, he was under pressure. Not the biggest deal in the world, but still worth noting. And this one, again, could have been caught, but it wasn't, and a big part of why it wasn't was because it was a bit off. That's just the reality of the situation. So, yeah, there absolutely were some missed throws in this one. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it wasn't the perfect game that maybe you were hoping for if you're a Falcons fan or someone who defended the Michael Penix draft pick when it happened, but there was a lot of good, I thought. Like I said, I think most people's criticisms with the Michael Penix draft pick wasn't really with the player itself, and more so you just paid a quarterback a bunch of money and now you're drafting another quarterback. It seems like you're putting a lot of resources into two different quarterbacks, which is a bold choice. But for Penix himself, I think that this was a pretty solid day for him. It wasn't perfect. The accuracy thing was a little bit off. That's kind of concerning a little bit, but I think that the good was still there. You saw the positives. I think this is if you're someone who likes Michael Penix, there's no reason to not like him after this performance. If you're someone who didn't like him, I guess you have some reasons now with the missed throws, but it still is. There's no smoking gun here. Overall, pretty good day, I would say. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Penix. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.